Happy Valentine's Day. Love is great, apparently. So, welcome to the love episode. So, I am sort of sick right now. I have a stuffy nose, a sore throat, whatever. So forgive if I sneeze or cough or anything. I'll try to keep that to a minimum or whatever. But I thought that for today, I would do an episode about love, since it is going to be February 14th when I release it, which I'm told is Valentine's Day. And I don't know much about love, but there's this book called the Bible that has a whole lot of verses about love, specifically romantic love and all that disgusting stuff. And so I was reading the Bible and I was like, oh great. And my coworker was like, you need to release more episodes, blah blah blah. So I was like, I'll just release one February 14th, 2 in February, and I'll just make this one shorter or whatever, because the sore throat and all that nonsense. But yeah, so I'm at this article. It has all these verses. The article title is 30 Powerful Bible Verses About Romantic Love, full commentary. It's by a Pastor David and was released October 4th, 2025. But before we start reading the Bible verses that are in this article, we're not actually going to read the actual article, we're just going to read the Bible verses. But before we do that, I'm going to talk about the history of Valentine's Day. So from what I understand is, during the Roman Empire, at one point in time, they outlawed marriage for some reason. I don't remember the exact reason. But they did that. But some men still wanted to get married. So there was a monk. His name was Valentine, obviously, and he was marrying people against the state's order to not marry them. And because he was marrying those people, we now celebrate Valentine's Day, and that's why it bears his name. So yeah, that's a very interesting. But hope y'all's Valentine's Day is good. It's weird saying Happy Valentine's Day and hope you have a good Valentine's Day. It is January 26th right now. We got some time here before this comes out. But let's start off with the first Bible verse. We're gonna start off here with 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verses 4 to 5, which here it states, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no records of wrong. So that's 1 Corinthians 13 verses 4 and 5. That's right there. I'm probably going to say this a lot. It's a really good verse. I'm probably going to say this a lot, because when people read the Bible, I'm like, oh, that's such a good verse, but it's also good. So I feel like I kind of say that a little too much. But this verse here is really good. I think one thing that I struggle a lot with is keeping records of wrong, because in some areas I have great memory, so I can remember if somebody was mean to me for a heck of a long time, because I just do. So it's hard to forget some of that stuff sometimes. But probably good to forget about it and whatnot. I think one thing here, it says love is not self-seeking. I feel like today a lot of people are just in relationships just to see if they can be edified or fulfilled, instead of trying to edify or fulfill the other person. Just something to think about. Yes, we're going to move on here. The next verse here is Colossians 3 verse 14, which 3.14, that is pi. We can do a Pi Day episode. I love math. see, what day is that? March 14th. That is a Saturday. I don't know, a Saturday episode, that could be pretty good. But Colossians chapter 3, verse 14. And above all these, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. Interesting. I need to read this verse in context. Let's see. Bible Gateway. Because what are we putting love above? Colossians 3:14. I'm going to read the full chapter. Well, not the full chapter. Let's see. 3. Okay. Let's see. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. Okay. So we're putting love above forgiveness and compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Interesting. Okay, that makes sense. I think the fruits of the Spirit. So let's get a list here. The fruit of the Spirit. Okay, where is it? Come on, where's the list? Show me the list. Okay, I just want a list. Okay, here we go. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So what some people think here is that love is the fruit of the Spirit, and then all the others kind of like branch off of love. So there's only like one fruit, and then the rest just kind of come from that, which is interesting, to say the least. We're going to move on from that good verse to another good verse called 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8, which this one is, above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. Interesting. Yes, this one here. Keep loving each other. Because I think, if somebody does something bad to us, it's hard to love them, especially like our enemies. Like, it's easy to love the people who love us, not easy to love the people who hate us. And it's hard to remember to love the people who are indifferent to us, too, I'd say. But yeah, I think loving your enemies, that is a really just great thing to do overall. Because if you don't hate them, then maybe they won't hate you either. Because maybe two people are just enemies because they think they're enemies. I don't know. I'm just a podcaster. But Galatians 5, verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. What the heck is forbearance? Let's look this up. What is forbearance? Let's see. Oh, here's Wikipedia. What does Wikipedia say? Wikipedia says forbearance in the context of mortgage process is a special agreement between the lender and the borrower to delay a foreclosure. The literal meaning of forbearance is holding back. This is also referred to as a mortgage moratorium. Okay, where's the disambiguation for this? Because I think I got the wrong thing here. You know what, we'll go over to Merriam-Webster dictionary, and we'll see if we can get a different thing. Okay, oh, here we go. Refraining from the enforcement of something, such as a debt, right, or obligation that is due. Interesting. I still am a little confused here. Okay, but oh yes, that was a fruit of the Spirit verse we were talking about earlier. But I think we should move on here to Ephesians chapter 4, verse 2. Be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bearing with one another in love. I think I'm using a bad translation right now. I think I should use one that's like uses modern English. I don't know what translation the guy in this article is using. Does it say? It could be the KJV, which I like the KJV. But if I'm reading, I'll read the NKJV, just because it's easier to understand there and stuff. Okay. Ooh, here's one from the Book of Love, Song of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 7. You are altogether beautiful, my love. There is no flaw in you. Interesting. Song of Solomon was definitely one of those books that was a bit weirder to read, just because of all the love language and analogies in it. If you go over to Bible Gateway here again, got a Song of Solomon. I think it's chapter 3. Let's see. No, not chapter 3. Oh, let's see. Nope, not chapter 2. Chapter 4. Okay, yeah, here we go. Your eyes behind your veil are doves. Your hair is like a flock of goats descending from the hills of Gilead. Your teeth are like a flock of sheep just shorn, coming up from the washing. Each has its twin, not one of them is alone. Your lips are like a scarlet ribbon. Your mouth is lovely. Your temples behind your veil are like the halves of a pomegranate. Your neck is like the Tower of David, built with courses of stone. On it hang 1,000 shields, all of them shields of warriors. That is the very interesting way to compliment the woman you like. I don't think that would work today. It might have worked then, because he did have 300 wives, 600 concubines, whatever. Let's see, how many wives and concubines did Solomon have? So he was obviously good at getting women to let's see. Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines. That's a lot. Yeah, that is a lot. Let's see. So 700 plus 300, that's 1,000. So if he was to spend a day with each of them, it would take over 3 years. Yeesh. That's a lot. I'm wondering, do people still actively practice polygamy today? I looked this up on DuckDuckGo, and it's a bunch of articles about Mormons. Let's see. Let's use the search assist, so I don't have to scroll through all these articles. Okay. The search assist says, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, LDS Church, does not actively practice polygamy today, having officially abandoned the practice in 1890. However, some small fundamentalist group that split from the LDS Church continue to practice it in secret. I didn't even ask about whether the Mormons did it. I just asked if people do it. That's very interesting. Is polygamy associated with Mormonism a lot? I'm not sure. Okay, moving on here. Oh, another Song of Solomon verse. Yay. Song of Solomon, chapter 8, verses 6 and 7. Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm, for love is strong as death, jealousy is fierce as the grave. Its flashes are flashes of fire, the very flame of the Lord. Song of Solomon, chapter 8, verses 6 and 7. Interesting. What does set me as a seal upon your heart mean? I think as we get progressively through these verses, I'm just getting more confused. I don't know. But I am in the I am comfortable sick stage where like I have my hoodie on, I have a blanket in my lap, and I'm just lounging around. And oh, fun fact, I have a work breakfast tomorrow, which I'm told is gonna be fun. I'm told the place where we're eating is great. So that sounds fun. I just love work. Last week I worked 4 days in a row because there was a lot of snow dumped on us, so people were freaking out because they thought they wouldn't be able to buy stuff. Funny thing was, we were selling a lot of like cakes and pies and things for like a snowstorm. Like, if I'm getting stuff because I think I'm not gonna be able to go to the store for a while, I'm gonna get like bread for like sandwiches, maybe some bagels, but not really sweet things. So that was certainly interesting. But yeah, got the work breakfast tomorrow, and I'm told that's gonna be a lot of fun. I ordered a debit card, which is gonna come in the mail. Which I'm not a spender. I'm more of a saver. As time goes progressively on, I find myself becoming more and more of a saver than I was, and spending less. But with flight lessons, it's kind of hard to not spend a lot of money because flying is expensive and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't really spend like as much as I think other people spend. Like, I certainly spend my fair share of money, but I wouldn't say it's an excessive amount or anything. But ooh, chess is fun. I've been on like a losing streak in chess. I just got back on my win streak. So let's log into chess.com right now. Okay. If I look at my stats here, look at my rapid rating, because that's what I primarily play. So for the past, we'll go 30 days. Okay. Well, no, we'll go 90. Okay. So around January 2nd, I peaked at 575. And then, so I peaked at 575 there, and then I went down. I dipped at 516, then came back up to 547, and then went on a long losing streak all the way down to 372. And right now I'm kind of recovering that, and right now I'm sitting at 426, which is good. I want to keep getting up because goal is by end of fiscal year 2026, I am at a rapid rating of 1200, which would be really nice. Yeah, but back to the love thing. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 25 says, "Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave herself up for her." Interesting. It's definitely really important for husbands to love their wives, because I think like on a lot of our TV shows and stuff, wives and women in general are portrayed in a more like they're supposed to love you way. It's like people say stuff like the ball and chain back home to describe the wives and stuff like that, which certainly says something about our culture. Certainly does that. Yeah. I lost my train of thought there. I'm really sick. I can usually focus really good. I don't know. Maybe if I just stop thinking I'm sick. Okay, guys. I am not sick anymore. I just have a cough and a sore throat because I do. I am not sick. Okay. That's our mindset now. Now I should be able to focus. This is the stupidest thing I've said all day. Okay, Proverbs 18:22. He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. Interesting. Yeah, I've always heard that. I usually hear different translations. He who finds a wife has found a good thing. I don't know what translation that is. But I haven't heard the and receives favor from the Lord part. Interesting. Ooh, 1 John 4:19. We love because he first loved us. That he certainly did. Yeah. Sacrificed himself on the cross. I feel like sometimes we remember the part about, like, Jesus being sacrificed, but not the part about him rising from the dead. Because people always run those crosses with Jesus on it. Very interesting. Oh, Mark 10:8. And the two will become one flesh, so they are no longer two, but one flesh. And we're going to skip that and go right into Ecclesiastes chapter 4, 9-10. Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. Yeah, I think Henry Ford exhibited this principle really well with his assembly line. Because before that, you would have one person does the whole process start to finish. But by dividing it up, and one person is very specialized at one thing, and it just keeps going, he was able to make his car factories run so much faster. Which is why the F-150 is my favorite car. Yep. 1 Corinthians 1:10. I appeal to you, brothers and sisters, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that all of you agree with one another in what you say, and that there is no divisions among you. Yeah, divisions can really hurt relationship. It's like a wedge driving two people apart. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Philippians chapter 2, verse 2. Then make my joy complete by being like-minded, having the same love, being one in spirit and of one mind. You know, some books in the Bible, I think I've only read once, and I think Philippians is one of them. I should read Philippians. Let me make a note for myself. Read Philippians. I think I just spelled that wrong. Yeah, okay. Romans chapter 12, verse 5. So in Christ we, though many, form one body, and each member belongs to all the others. Ooh, here's another verse. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. That is very important because God knows everything. We don't. So trust God. Yep. There is my 2 cents. Let's see. Psalms 37, verse 5. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will do this. Do what though? Come on, I need this in context. Let's see. Time to go back to Bible Gateway. And what was the verse? Psalm 37:5. Psalm 37:5. And then read full chapter. Okay. Do not fret because of those who are evil, or be envious of those who do wrong, for like the grass they will soon wither, like green plants they will soon die away. Trust in the Lord and do good, while in the land and safe pasture. Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord, or trust in him, and he will do this. He will make your righteousness reward shine like the dawn, your vindication like the noonday sun. Interesting. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 11. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. See, the heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. Interesting. So I think this is what this is saying here, is that if you can trust your wife, you'll gain stuff. Interesting. I don't remember that verse. Honestly, there's too many verses in the Bible to remember all of them. I'm sure somebody can remember them all, but I'm not one of those people. My throat. Ooh, 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 11. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. How about Psalms chapter 56, verse 3? When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. Okay. How about Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1? A gentle answer turns away rash, but a harsh word stirs up anger. This is definitely true. Because if you're nice to somebody, like if somebody's angry at you and then you just say something nice, it's really hard to keep being angry after that. It's just like, you're angry at somebody for a reason. Or I hope you're angry at somebody for a reason. And if they suddenly are nice to you, the logical thought process in your mind that took you to the point where you're angry at them, it's not making sense anymore. So the anger kind of like dissipates or whatever. I'm sure there's like a medical study out there that has a bunch of words that I cannot pronounce about that. So go find it. Go read it. Because I'm not going to find it and I'm not going to read it. I'm sure there is one out there. I'm sure there is one. But James chapter 1, verse 19. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Yeah, I think listening's very important, because we have 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listen twice as much as you speak, or something like that. And honestly, the quiet person in the room who's just sitting in the corner listening to everything everybody else is saying, honestly, is probably just going to get really smart listening to what everybody else is saying. Because they're going to hear the stupid stuff, and they're going to be laughing at you. And they're also going to hear the smart stuff and take note of that. Or they're just standing in the corner, not talking to anybody, because they don't like talking to people like me. I'm really good at that. Okay, moving on here. Ephesians 4:29. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs. I think my sister quotes that a lot. Interesting. Colossians 4:6. Let your conversations be always full of a grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. Seasoned with salt. That's a very interesting way to put it. For sure. Seasoned with salt. You know, salt, they used to use it as a form of payment in the Roman Empire, which is really interesting. Because if somebody tried to start paying me in salt, I'd be like, what are you doing? I do not want your salt. I want the money. But money is not the most important thing. Obviously. Let's see. Colossians chapter 4:6. Let your conversations be always full of grace. See, oh, I just read that one. That's why it sounds familiar. 1 John chapter 3 verse 18. Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. Yeah, I think this is where the actions speak louder than words thing comes from. Because, what is it, talk is cheap, or whatever? Because obviously I can say I love somebody, and I can say it in a way that sounds like I mean it. But it's not necessarily true if I don't exhibit it. I think today, though, we have a very, action-based feel of love. This is more about, like, what can you do for me? And so, if somebody's not doing stuff for us, we kind of think that they don't like us, just because we come from that point of view. That took so long to formulate that thought there. Interesting. You know, down below in the comments, why don't you send a comment down below and with your love story. I'd love to hear how some of my listeners' love stories, to just see what is happening out there in the world, in the love and stuff. Yeah, so send a comment. It's supposed to actually get other people to see my podcast if you comment, follow or subscribe, and like it. Like, if you do those three things, it tells the algorithm to share it more. So, I was watching PBS Space Time, and they're always saying that before their new episodes. Hey boy, I am losing in this chess game. No wonder I can't focus. I'm doing like 3 things at once. Okay. Well, let's come off the comment train of thought, and we'll go to the next verse. 1 John 3 verse 18. Dear children, let us not love with words or speech. Oh, I read that one. Okay. Let's see. Colossians 3:13. Bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. Forgiveness is very important. Definitely. Ephesians 4:32. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other just as Christ God forgave you. Interesting. Yeah, fairly interesting. For if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. Matthew 6:14. Interesting. That sounds very interesting, actually. Does this verse here, somebody look it up. Does this mean if we don't forgive other people, that God won't forgive us? Interesting. I don't know. I'm sure somebody has thoughts on that somewhere. Maybe somebody find like a link to an article about this and put it down in the comments. Okay? Capiche? Capuche? Capoodle? What is a capoodle? Let's see, it's a Poodle plus what? Capoodle. Let's look this up. Let's see. Nope, can't find anything online. I get a bunch of kitchen photos. It's a caboodle kitchen. Explained. A really nice kitchen here. Very modern look. Well, it has a great, there's a lot of light coming in here, which is really nice. I really like the house where it's mostly the natural light coming in during the day. Really like that. Yeah, these kitchens are nice. This one has a washer and dryer in their kitchen, though. I wouldn't like that, necessarily. Yeah, I'd like a separate room for washer and dryer. Just because they're prone to making noise. So I like to have that, the noise be in a different room. Yeah. That's what I'd say. Okay, and when you stand praying, if you hold anything against anyone, forgive them, so that your Father in heaven may forgive your sins. Mark 11:25. What? How about Luke 6:37? Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Luke 6:37. Interesting there. Let's see. There's so many verses left here. How many verses are there? Honestly, though, reading the Bible, probably one of the best things you can do in your walk with Jesus, I would think. Well, one of the best. Because how are you going to know about God if you don't read the book he wrote? That's just my thought there. Here's a good verse. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 18 and 19. May your fountains be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth, a loving doe, a graceful deer. May her breast satisfy you always. May you ever be intoxicated with her love. Interesting. We're not going to commentate on that verse. I'm sure y'all can discuss that on your own time. How about Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 10? I said it's a good verse before I even read it, and I was like, yeah, we're not going to commentate on this one right now. But Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 10. My beloved spoke and said, arise, my darling, my beautiful one, come with me. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Arise, my darling. Ooh, my darling, oh, my darling. Ba-bum-bum. What song is that? I forgot. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring of a reward from him. Psalm 127:3. Interesting indeed. The joy of the Lord is your strength. Nehemiah 8:10. How is that verse about love? I don't know. I don't know. This article is... Some of these verses aren't even about love. Interesting. You know, I should read the article before I press record. That'd probably be a good idea. Whatever. And this is my prayer, that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight. Philippians 1:9. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. James 1:5. How about Proverbs chapter 2, verse 6? For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. Proverbs 2:6. Oh, the last verse in the article, 1 Corinthians 13:2. If I have the gift of prophecy, you can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge. And if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. Interesting. I think that verse was in a song or something at some point. Okay. On the 9th of February, so it'll be a Monday, going to like a thingy that's like a Valentine's Day party. We're like the hymn school group I'm in. Must be really fun. Loads of fun, as I say. Probably gonna be a very wholesome event. But yeah, very wholesome, all good stuff. Let's see here. Wow, we got 13 to 16 inches of snow. That's a lot. Oh wait, no, that's not from what we got. We're supposed to get another foot this weekend. Why are people texting me when I'm recording? I see squirrels and I chase them. Interesting. I really don't like the snow though. It's white and wet. So like it makes everything so bright outside. Really, I get blinded by the light. A good song there. Who was that by? It's by like the Manfred something. Blinded by the light. Sung by Bruce Springsteen. Interesting. Manfred Mann's Earth Band. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I would play it on the podcast, but I would get copywritten or whatever. But are there any great songs about love? How about Can You Feel the Love Tonight by Elton John? Really good song about love there. It's like, can you feel the love tonight? Yeah, can you feel the love tonight? Interesting. I feel like I'm just about to sneeze all over my microphone, which would be disgusting to clean up. Oh, here's some Bible verses about marriage. Song of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 4. I found the one my heart loves. That sounds like a great feeling. Let's see. How did he ask God for all that wisdom, and then he married like 1,000 women? He either knows something we don't, or he lost all that wisdom. Interesting. Very interesting. A wife of noble character, who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. Interesting. A wife of noble character. Very interesting. And if you can't seem to find that wife of noble character, maybe you're looking in the wrong place. That's why ChristianMingle.com is here to help you. There's thousands of single people joining monthly. It's built for believers. It's got 20 plus years of faithful matches. And best of all, it's Christian. So if you like Jesus and you're trying to find that special someone in time for Valentine's Day, sign up today. And look, it says on the website, meet local Christian singles. Yeah. They did not sponsor this. Full disclosure. I don't know why I did an advert for that. But I'm not on there. You won't find me on there. Can you legally go on a dating app if you're under 18? I'm not sure. Probably. I don't know. You can always lie about your age. That's always an option. Yeah. Interesting. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. Song of Solomon 8:3. Wasn't I saying that in the... Was it the first episode? I would call the person I like my beloved? Oh, I gotta save this verse. Song of Solomon 8:3. Let's see, we'll go over to Bible Gateway. Song of Solomon 8:3. Okay. We're just gonna put that there. Put a pin in it. Was that the guy from Bolt who says that? I'm gonna put a pin in it. Excuse me. Yes, we're gonna put a pin in it for now. We'll come back to that later. Let's see. A friend loves at all times. Proverbs 17:17. Well, we're all out of Bible verses now, so I guess I'll yap. I'm not going to tell you about love because I'm not married. I don't got a girlfriend. What do I know about love? But you could probably ask a married person or a dating person. I'm sure they'd be glad to tell you. But one of my coworkers, I believe their anniversary is actually Valentine's Day. I think that's right. Let me send out an email right now. Is your anniversary February 14th? Question mark. And we have 15 minutes of this podcast left. Let's see if she responds before the podcast is over. Okay. And yeah, I'm on about 13 minutes now. Okay. Oh, so I saw the other day that the 1040 tax form for 2025 was released. Just can't wait to do my taxes. Yeah, that will be fun. I'm gonna do the paper way, and then because doing on paper is just way funner than using like the tax software. I see my dad using, because like after reading for Taxes for Dummies, it's not that complicated to do your taxes. Like it's basically a bunch of math, and if you mess up, you'll get an angry letter from the IRS. So that's why you double check your math. Yeah, very important that you make sure that you check the math on your tax form, because you don't want to mess up there. Although every year they send out letters to people because they paid too much in taxes. It's like, I think it's like 1% of like the letters they sent out or whatever to people who messed up on their tax returns. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check that back. Yeah, very interesting. Well, besides my nose being clogged, she responded. February 15th. Valentine's Day is February 14th, right? Valentine's Day. Because it'd be really awkward. I've been citing the wrong day for the entire podcast. February 14th. Maybe they wanted it to be on February 14th. Let's see. We'll send another email back. But you wanted it on Valentine's Day, right? Question mark. Josiah. Yeah, that was a pretty good response time. That was less than 2 minutes it took her to respond. A lot happening this week. I was watching the House of Representatives. I believe it was the January 23rd session. Was that a Friday? Yeah, it was the January 23rd session. And the one of the representatives with full confidence accused some of her colleagues of having Trump derangement syndrome, which is the stupidest thing I have ever heard in my life. There's some of the things they say are the most brilliant. Others are some of the most stupid things I've heard. Maybe I just don't go for the full hour. There's like 9.5 minutes left of this podcast. But yeah, let's talk about upcoming episodes. So, in March is another solo episode. In April, I'm going to be interviewing my boss. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. I don't know what I'm doing for May yet. I really need to get a guest. In June or July, I was going to see if I could contact one of my representatives in Congress. Well, I only have one representative in Congress. And see if he would come on the podcast and talk about Constitution, the law, the Code of Federal Regulations, United States Code, yada yada yada. I don't know. Would you guys find that interesting? Comment below if that's interesting to you. Because that to me is very interesting. I'm very interested in like the legal things and like the law, the taxes, tax codes, whatever. Yep. But yeah, so comment below if you think that would be interesting. And I don't know, maybe I could do an episode on chess. But chess is very visual. That would be a little hard. Like, maybe talk about the history of chess. I don't know. Yep, been on a nice little win streak. Very nice. I lost my last game actually, but I was on a winning streak before that. And, yep. Marathon is coming up on October 18th. That's going to be loads of fun. I ran 17.1 miles the other day. It was like 3 weeks ago or whatever. Well, 3 weeks before January 26th. By the time this was released, it'll be more than that. But I was running those 17 miles. Honestly, it wasn't too bad. It was more like I didn't feel like really tired after that, and it wasn't like I wrecked my body. It was more like I ran 17 miles, so now I can't feel my legs type thing, not I ran 17 miles and now I'm dead type thing. Yeah, it felt good after it. My mile pace honestly suffered at the end there. But, it is what it is. I stopped a little in the middle to go to use the bathroom. I didn't pause my timer, though, because that is cheating. If you stop to get water or use the bathroom, leave your timer going. Because if you stop your timer, you're basically resting in between it. So at that point, you might as well count it as 2 separate runs. But, that's my opinion. You're free to disagree with me. Yep, you can do that. Just don't send me angry emails. Please don't do that. I have 821 conversations in my inbox. I used to just move them all to the archives. I haven't done that since September that I've archived emails. They've just been living in my inbox. Like, I've read them all. But, they're just sitting here. Very interesting. I was playing the Minecraft the other day. I'm almost to 500 days in my world. 500 Minecraft days, I should make that clear. Which, a Minecraft day is 20 minutes of real life time. So, I'm at day 420-ish. Multiply that by 20. That's 8,400 minutes. And we divide that by 60. That's 140 hours. And if we divide that by 24, we're at 5.833 days repeating in the world of Minecraft. That honestly sounds way less than I thought it would be. Interesting. But Minecraft is fun. Some video games are like those like phone games, for instance, like really no substance behind them, and they're not very great to play. But I think Minecraft as a game can be good for you. Because you have you're building stuff, so it's very creative. And obviously, you face problems in the game, so you have to use your critical thinking and whatnot. And I feel like sometimes, like, the parents who don't let their kids play video games, they, like, you can't play video games, but then they don't give their child, like, a place to put all that creative juice. Which, I'm like, you could paint, you could draw, or you could play Minecraft, which is fun. Real fun. And I would say you shouldn't play it all the time necessarily, but it's not bad to play it every now and again. I remember watching a video on YouTube. The mother was like, it was like from the news or whatever, and it was like, this kid's been playing Minecraft all the time. It's been whooping his brain or whatever. And then the mother was like, I just can't get my kid to stop playing the Minecraft. And they were like, so what'd you make in Minecraft? And he was like, a sign that says love. I was like, I think they were overreacting. And she had a 1 hour time limit on his Minecraft. And honestly, you could see that she had a 1 hour time limit, because his sign that said love was not good. Like, I don't play it that much, and I can make a better sign. Honestly, I would say I'm very creative, so maybe that's why. I don't know. I definitely don't play over 7 hours a week. Like, some days I don't load it up, some days I do load it up. But I don't play an excessive amount. But Minecraft, you should play. Because you know what? It's better to play Minecraft together. Unless you're like me and you get mad when people mess up your stuff, than playing single player. I made some really cool stuff. I made a big furnace room to smelt all my ores and stuff. And I made the outside look like it was a furnace. So I have a bunch of small furnaces inside a big furnace. It looks really cool. And I was thinking, there's this mountain near spawn in my world. I'm gonna make Noah's Ark on that mountain and fill it with animals. It's gonna look really cool. And if I'm not mistaken, let's load up the Bible here. What Bible passage does God tell Noah to build the ark? Okay, here's Bible Gateway. Okay, make yourself an ark of gopher wood. What is gopher wood? Gopher wood streams small moderate. Some Bibles attempt a translation. Older English translations, such as King James, leave it untranslated. Interesting. Does it have a real life? Well, I guess the Bible was real life. But, like, does it have a modern equivalent? Or is this interesting? That was most likely the translation of the term cedar beams. There's no cedar in Minecraft. Let's see. Cedar wood Minecraft equivalent. Okay, cedar wood in Minecraft can be crafted from cedar logs. There's no cedar logs in Minecraft. The search assist is stupid. Right? There's no cedar, right? Yeah, there's no cedar. Let's see. Maybe, like, the closest would be spruce, I guess. So we got... I know in other passages of the Bible, they mention acacia wood to build the Ark of the Covenant. So maybe I could use acacia wood, because we do have acacia wood in Minecraft. Maybe... Let's see, we have oak, pale oak, birch, spruce, jungle, acacia, dark oak, mangrove, cherry, bamboo, crimson, or warped. Probably not the bamboo. Bamboo would float, but I don't think that's what God meant by gopher wood. Let's see, maybe I would use birch or acacia. I don't know. But it's been good. Good episode. A lot about love. A little about Minecraft. Have a happy Valentine's Day. Kiss the person you love or whatever. Unless they don't like kisses, then respect their wishes. Have a great day. And make sure you like it and follow me. I guess if you want to, only if you want to. See you next time I post a podcast. Goodbye.